Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Season 14, Episode 6 overall, 721 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Row West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles, EVs, and Cadillac products as well. You may call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. Good morning, everyone, on this Monday, June 15th, 2026. Hard to believe June is half over, and I am looking forward to my guest today. This is her first time on our show. She was a bilingual meteorologist. She is now a professional speaker, an MC, a host, and we're going to bring her on right now. And she's out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. Denise Isaac. Good morning, Denise. How are you?
And good morning. I'm doing great. I can't complain. So, I'm a Jackie of all trades, as you mentioned, because I still do meteorology, believe it or not. That's why I have my green screen behind me. So I still do weather from the comfort of my home.
Speaking of weather, how is the weather in your area today in Massachusetts, Boston, I think?
Well, actually, Chris, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky now. So I moved to so I moved to the Louisville, Kentucky area. And the weather is actually delightful this morning. I went for a walk before our show. It's like 65 degrees, sunny, cool breeze.
Perfect.
I'm loving it.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's me, but for me personally, 65 to 75 is perfect.
I know, it feels like Toronto.
Have you been to Toronto before, obviously?
I haven't been to Toronto, but I've been to Ontario before. When I used to live in Detroit, I used to drive to Canada pretty often, at least once a month.
Yeah, because Detroit is like 10 minutes from Windsor, Ontario.
Yes, it is. It's not too far.
Yes, so we had a few hot days here, but now it's a little bit cooler. We had a ton of rain yesterday, but we actually needed the rain as well. But ideally, 65 to 75 is good. These 95, 100-degree days, no. Humidity days, no.
No, I know, no. It's too sweaty, right? Too sticky. You have to take 2 to 3 showers a day when humidity and temperatures in the hundreds happen.
So how do you like being in Louisville, Kentucky, which I've never been to yet?
Oh, you haven't? Well, you need to visit, especially during Derby season. I wouldn't say Derby weekend because it's quite chaotic and hectic, but here in Louisville, we celebrate Derby like the entire month of April. So you can come anytime in April and you will get to enjoy some sort of Derby activity. But living here is nice. It's very family oriented. Everything takes 20 minutes. You drive to downtown, you drive inland, everything is pretty much 20 minutes. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's not that big city life that a lot of people are used to, but I am not from a big city. I'm more from a, smaller town in Panama, which has a lot of green area. And I feel like Louisville, the suburbs of Louisville, have a lot from what I grew up with in Panama.
Ironically, I used to work for a major racetrack here in Toronto for 24 years in security, and they have the big races like the Queen's Plate, the King's Plate now. And I would like to get out to Kentucky one day as well.
Well, feel free. Open invitation.
Deal. And you're a big sports fan too, by the way, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I am. That's why I'm repping my Panama jersey,
For
They'll
this
be
World
playing
Cup
in
of
York of the Woods in 2 days.
Now, do they have any games in Vancouver or Toronto? Because some of the World Cup games are in Vancouver and Toronto.
Yeah, they're playing in Toronto on the 17th and on the 23rd. So Panama, a lot of Panamanians will be there. So if you haven't met a Panamanian before, just go out Toronto and you'll find several of them.
You're gonna have to get down here to Toronto for that game.
Well, I won't be able to make it to Toronto. I couldn't find tickets. So I am actually going to go to New Jersey to watch my first World Cup match ever. And I'm very excited, very pumped.
Very excited. Now, as a kid, I played soccer, but I understand how big the World Cup is, and it's a big impact over in the States, but also having 13 games here in Canada and Vancouver and Toronto and Panama. I'm gonna have to look up on them and read up about a little more about their soccer team too. What's the expectation? What's the expectations for Panama in this tournament?
Well, I feel like we have the toughest group of all because we are playing against Croatia, England, and Ghana. So very tough teams. To be honest, I just want to witness a goal that would make like my biggest, wildest dreams come
One
true.
goal.
Yeah, if I can see Panama score a goal against England, I mean, I will lose my mind. But I mean, of course, every Panamanian will love Panama to make it into the next phase. But I mean, playing against Croatia made it into like I think was Final Four. Was it last year or Russia? One of the two. I mean, it was Croatia, England, and was it Germany? I think the next one and someone else. So we're playing top caliber here. Teams.
Canada had a tie 1-1, which everyone was disappointed. I'm like, hey, it's a tie. You didn't lose. You scored a goal. That's a bonus. It's a shame that Canada doesn't play Panama in this tournament.
No, we don't, but we do play in the CONCACAF, I believe, so I think we've played against Canada a couple times.
How big is soccer in Panama specifically?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Panama, especially the past, I'll say 15 years, because back when I was growing up in Panama, soccer, we weren't that good, people never talked about us. We always lost against the United States, Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador. But 10 years ago, when we started winning and, competing, and sometimes we were tied with Mexico, like it just became very energetic, a lot of hype. And when we made the World Cup in 2018, I mean, I was actually at the game in 2017 when we beat, I can't remember who, could it be Costa Rica maybe? And that was the game that put us into the World Cup. I was at the stadium with my brothers and my dad. I mean, the whole country lost it. It was almost as we have won the World Cup. The streets were packed. Music, celebrations, people honking their horns. It was insane. I mean, soccer has become a huge thing in Panama. And with this one being our second time making it to the World Cup, first time everyone is like excited and doesn't matter. We're there, we're representing. Second time now, I feel like people have a little bit more expectations. They hope we can make it into the next phase. I mean, people will still be excited if we can score a goal against any of these teams. But I think expectations for the Panamanian team now are a little bit higher than back in 2018.
I'm going to put you on the spot with this question before we get into your career here. Do you have a favorite player and a favorite soccer moment for Panama so far?
Oh, I'll say, I mean, I have a lot of the players are the ones so I met the team back in 2016 and they were so nice. But Blas Perez was the forward, and he was just very down to earth, just open arms. I mean, that day when I met the entire team, Blas was extremely nice to me. So I'll say Blas Perez, and he always had a way to score a goal in a crucial moment. But yeah, it's just tough to remember. But that game against Costa Rica, and I can't remember the name of the player at the top of my head right now. Oh, Roman Torres. He scored that last goal, and it was just amazing. I mean, wonderful. But yes, I love sports, Chris. Can you tell?
So do I. So do I. And I'm learning about soccer more. And one of my friends, he works for TSN here. He's covering the World Cup for TSN, which is their version of ESPN. I'm going to try to get him on. His name's Matthew Shinetti, because I would like to learn more about soccer. When I was a young kid, I played a lot of soccer. I just never got into watching it, but I do realize how big the World Cup is. So thank you for explaining a little bit about that. And I hope Panama does really well.
Thank you. No problem. My pleasure. I can tell you, we can talk about soccer and weather, I know a little bit of both.
And you love college sports too. I know going down to the States, high school sports is popular, college sports is popular. By the way, off the record, I'm a Michigan fan, by the way, in college sports.
Oh, good. Okay. Go blue.
Go blue. And they did win the basketball championship this year at the March Madness Final Four.
Yes, they did. No, they're doing really well. I mean, when I lived in Detroit, yeah, it was the big battle between go blue and go green, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
college sports now, not so much with all this NIL stuff, but
Yes.
but the passion that you live in college is just amazing.
I have a viewer watching, and she's actually an author here where I live near Toronto. She's going to be on my show on June 24th. Her name's Emma Miller. She's watching from Facebook. She says, "Love your hat from the Kentucky Derby, Denise. Looking at your Instagram, the blue cream chapel is just gorgeous."
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was made by a local Louisville artist, a fascinator, lady. And she did an amazing job. Yes. I mean, Derby season here in Kentucky, as I mentioned, is big, and there's so many people who make like their own fascinators. And I just love supporting small businesses. So I went ahead this year and purchased one from this lady named Jocelyn Santa.
You're going to have to come to Woodbine in August for the King's Plate. It used to be called the Queen's Plate. It's our equivalent of the Kentucky Derby here too. And everyone gets all dressed up in that. So maybe one day you'll have to come to Toronto for the King's Plate.
Yes, you have my email now. Send me the invite and I'll show up.
Absolutely. And a lot of respect, man. I love, and the horse people too. People don't realize how much work goes into preparing these horses to race as well.
Yes, they do. I mean, it's a lot of work. And around here, there are so many horse farms, and I actually live pretty close to a retired horse farm, retired horse farm. So all the horses that went to the Derby and competed, but no longer can compete anymore, they actually stay at a farm right next door, and you can go see them and pet them and stuff, which is really nice. They give them a second chance.
Last sports question for you. What did you think of the New York Knicks and the Carolina Hurricanes winning their championships?
Well, that was cool. I mean, Knicks, after 53 years, not a huge NBA fan, but it's very exciting for the people of New York to finally see that happen. And then the Carolina fans, I mean, I think for them was also first time in a really long time. Yeah.
20 years.
So it's nice to not see the repeat. These nothing against Patriots fans or Chiefs fans, but sometimes it's just nice to see newcomers win a title. It keeps you guessing.
Unless you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan like myself. I'm greedy. I want to see the Eagles win every year, but you know what? It's hard to win one championship, let alone back-to-back or three. And the Patriots dynasty will never be duplicated again. The 20 years, the 6 Super Bowl titles. They went to 9 Super Bowls, and then they went to the Super Bowl last year too, but this time they ran into a really good Seattle team.
Yes, exactly. But it's nice to see other teams making it, and all these droughts of these big teams that once used to be. Yeah. It's nice to see them win after such a long time. But I heard it was chaos though in New York that day, because between soccer matches and the Knicks winning the city stands still.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to bring you back on again for a whole hour of sports talk.
Sounds good to me.
You'll be my new soccer insider.
That's funny. I know a little bit of everything. Soccer right now with the World Cup, yes, I'm following every match. But usually I only follow Panama. So you'll have to let me know in advance and then I'll be
Absolutely.
prepared.
I'll give you a heads up. Hey, I wanted to ask you, Denise, I'm based near Toronto. Can you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself and when did you get your bug for meteorology weather?
Okay, so I am originally from Colon, Panama. So Colon, Panama. I was born and raised there. I moved to the United States when I was 17 years old to study meteorology. The weather bug started as a young girl, but I never knew it was a weather bug because in Panama, we don't have meteorologists. Or at least when I was growing up there, meteorology wasn't a thing. I mean, you carried your umbrella because you knew that in the afternoon it was going to rain. So when I came to the United States at age 15 to visit my brother in Orlando, that's when I stumbled upon the Weather Channel and I was just glued. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And that's when I told my parents, I was like, okay, I don't want to, because at the time I thought I wanted to be an astronomer because I love the stars and planets and all that connection. But then I realized that I wanted to be a meteorologist. And they're like, meteor who? Like, what is that? And I said, well, it's a person who studies the weather. And, it's just in Panama, we have like these very strong thunderstorms that here they call severe thunderstorm warnings. In Panama, it's just a typical afternoon storm. So I could just feel the energy from like lightning, the smell of rain. I mean, I could tell my brother, like I'm one of 11. So we will be outside playing and I'll be like, okay, rain is coming. And they're like, how do you know that? I said, I can smell it. And 5 minutes later, it starts a downpour. And they'll be like, oh my God, you're so weird. So I just feel like it was a calling. It's something that it's almost like a magnet pretty much. And when I told my parents that I want to be a meteorologist, I actually went online. I think we had internet by then. I went online and I started researching good meteorology schools, and it was a top 3. So it was either Penn State, University of Miami, or Florida State. And I really wanted to stay in Florida, being that it was warm. I didn't want to deal with winter just yet. So I decided to go to Florida State, being that it was a public school and it was also like top 10 party school and top 5 in meteorology school. So I was like, oh, the best of both worlds. Let's apply to Florida State. And thankfully, I was accepted into the meteorology program there.
Who were some of your early influences and mentors?
So that question is quite tricky because I feel I never really had a mentor. I interned with a meteorologist named Glenn Richards. He was very nice to it was 3 of us and he will call us Glenn's Angels. So he was very nice to the 3 of us, but it was never kind of like a mentorship. I feel like mentorship is someone who follows and, calls you every now and again and asks, how's life coming along? So I never really had that. Influencers, I'll say I love watching the Weather Channel. So Mike Bettis and Stephanie Abrams were the ones that I like followed, and I wanted to have a show like the ones they had that was called Abrams and Bettis at the time. Now it's gone. But, that was like what I envisioned myself one day doing. Like, I would love to have an Abrams and Bettis show, and incorporate sports into it. So I feel like they were my influencers, or, those were the people I watched that I wanted to be like. And mentors, I wish I could say I had one, but I tried my best to keep in touch with some people, but it wasn't all that easy.
What was the process like in becoming a meteorologist bilingual and some of the challenges for you starting up?
Well, it was tough because when I graduated college in 2007, we were kind of going into that recession. And it was also a time when it wasn't just reels. You actually had to make a VHS tape and send those out via mail. So there was a lot of money spent in the process. And honestly, I sent it to every TV station. I even applied to an opportunity that I saw online in Bermuda and got no answers. I mean, it was very discouraging. I graduated in April of 2007, and I was sent tapes. I mean, I was sending tapes starting in January of 2007 and never heard back. So I was like, oh, well, I guess my dream of becoming a meteorologist won't happen. So after I graduated, I had to start working. So I went into retail. I was a manager at a retail store, but I also did a lot of like side gigs as a brand ambassador. So I went to an event in Orlando. It was about Blue Cross Blue Shield. There was a TV station there at the time, and they needed a bilingual representative to speak in both languages, right? And I was the only one there. And I was like, hey, I'm a bilingual, I speak English, I speak Spanish. And I actually went to school for meteorology. And at the time, it was the VP of Telemundo Orlando. And he's like, oh, really? Okay, you're a meteorologist. And I said, yes, here's my card. I mean, I will walk around with my business cards. I give him my card and I said, if you ever need someone to sub or, when your guy is sick or whatever, just call me and I'll show up. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I get a call from this VP, the news director of the station. And he said, you know what? I've been thinking about what you said, what you proposed. Our guy is going on vacation in 2 weeks, and I will need you to come in, practice, and see if you're the person who can sub while he's gone. So at the time I was working at a retail store. Luckily, the retail store was right next door to the TV station. I mean, how bizarre or ironic. I know. So then on my break from work, I went, I practiced, I showed them what I could do. And they were like, okay, you're the one. So I was able to work out my schedule from the retail shop to sub for this guy for 2 weeks. And then after the opportunity, I was like, well, at least I got to do it for 2 weeks. But maybe a month later, he calls me back and he says, Denise, I don't have an opportunity for you here in Orlando, because at the time I lived in Orlando, Florida, but there is a possible job opening in Washington, D.C. Would you be interested? And I said, of course, anything to start my career. So, a month later, I was gone. I left Orlando and moved to Washington, D.C. to become their meteorologist there at the Telemundo station. So, it was just like, it's kind of like serendipity. It's just all the ducks aligned to make this happen. And sometimes, my brother used to tell me that, like, sometimes it's okay. It's okay to say yes when you're not getting paid $1 million or even thousands of dollars, because it opens doors. And I feel like that's what happened in that moment. I mean, I said yes, they weren't paying me a lot of money, but then it opened the door to the Washington, D.C. station. And after that, it pretty much just, people heard about me, and I went from D.C. to Minneapolis, Minnesota to work with Weather Nation at the time that was there. Then after that, I moved to Miami, where I got my, the big opportunity to work for Miami and NBC. And then after that, I jumped to Detroit. And from Detroit, I went to Boston. So, big markets overall. And I feel like being bilingual helped in several of these stations, because they were looking for someone who could be versatile and be able, to do 2 jobs pretty much and get paid for one.
Now, the video I watched off your website, you were telling us on your video about a story where somebody wanted you to take an accent reduction class. Yes. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel really, it was kind of like a stab, and it hurt for a long time. I even had to call my older brother, and I was like, can you believe this is happening? And he was just like, are they paying for it? I said, yes. He said, well, just take it as something that's going to help you advance in your career. Don't look at it as, oh my God, I have an accent. They don't like my accent. He just said, embrace it, go to your class, do what you have to do. And I did, but it was very hard because, all my videos, my resume tapes show that I have an accent. So to me, it was just like, why do you want me to get rid of it when that's how I talk? So it took me a while to accept that part. And that station, eventually, my contract was supposed to be a 2-year contract. 9 months into the contract, they decided to let me go, which I know was because of my accent. And of course it hurt. But then that took me to Miami. So I just have to stay positive. At the time I just had to stay positive. It was hard to do, but I stayed positive and just said, more doors were open. It's not the end of the road. And that station probably won't be the only one thinking that way. So, but yes, it did hurt.
Denise, for those people that are watching our show live stream or later on audio platforms, and they're looking to get into meteorology, what advice would you give them? Advice would you give to them from your experiences?
Well, from my experiences, and I've been, after TV, I decided to become a mentor to those at Florida State University, where I graduated. I'm part of their mentorship program, as well as the National Weather Association. And I am very real. I tell these kids or young adults that TV is no longer what it used to be. Meteorology is no longer what it used to be. But if that's your passion, it's your love, I'm no one to tell you don't go in that direction. But I let them know that, you go into a 4-year degree. It's not cheap. It's very hard because meteorology is about math, chemistry, physics, aerodynamics. I mean, I was only 3 classes away from being a major in physics. I mean, so it just tells you how intense the classes are. And when you get out, some stations only want to pay you $25,000 for an annual salary. Like, who can live with that? Not a lot of people can.
No.
And not only that, but you're waking up at 2 a.m, or I see some people waking up at midnight. And yes, some people, you do it for as long as you can, but eventually most of us do get burnt out and we end up leaving because it's just not doable. I mean, 20 years of waking up at 2 a.m, it eventually just kills you, even if you don't want to. I mean, it's not normal biology. It's not part of your circadian rhythm to wake up at 2 a.m. and have all this energy and stay awake till 7 o'clock at night and then go to bed when the sun is out. So, I try to be encouraging, but at the same time, I'm very real. So I've seen a lot of young adults who were like, I want to do TV, and they do TV for a year or two, and then they're like, man, you were right. It's not worth it. Especially this younger generation, they value a lot the work-life balance. And it's tough to have that work-life balance when you're working in the TV industry.
Denise, I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you feel with AI technology, especially, that the TV and the news industry is shrinking and everything is going more to live streaming?
I don't know if it's shrinking. I don't think it's shrinking. It's just, so newscasts now are 5 hours long, when before it was just like a 2-hour show. So I feel that now they're expecting a lot of meteorologists, anchors. I mean, you're working for a long period of time. And just think about it. If you are on TV from 5 a.m. till 10 a.m, and weather pretty much happens every, I don't know, they're on every 7 to 8 minutes. Like, think about it. You don't even have time to like eat. And if you're eating like a bar, something very quick. You're just snacking all morning long. And how about going to the bathroom? It's a struggle. But I don't know about AI. I went to a conference and they said, don't blame AI for like taking our jobs. Just try to incorporate AI into your shows. But it's tough as someone. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not old, but AI and just all the technology just keeps changing so often that for people that were so used to, I don't know, I mean, it takes you, let's say, 6 months to learn a program correctly or become an expert. But if things are changing every 2 to 3 months, it's just like your brain doesn't have enough time to adapt. And that's what I feel like happens to me, that I'm like, oh my God, slow down technology. Like, this is exhausting.
Technology in a way is a good thing and can be bad if you use it the right way. For me, going into this new career in media 7 years ago, I used technology the right way if you use it correctly. And I wanted to get your thoughts too, Denise. How much has the weather in your time changed as a meteorologist, and thoughts on global warming? Do you kind of believe in that, or what's your thoughts on that?
So I believe the world is changing, but I've always said that I focus mostly on patterns. Like, we had ice age, we had all these different things happening. Is the weather changing? Yes, weather is changing. Is it getting hotter in some locations? Yes, that's completely true. Does human population have or are responsible for what's happening to Mother Earth? Yes, very true. I mean, we're cutting down trees. How can the world not get warmer if you no longer have trees protecting us from the sun? So I think a lot of it is caused by humans. I mean, all these data centers that they want to build now, that's a cement structure. That's urban heat island, pretty much bringing it to suburbs or remote areas, rural areas. So there's no longer that opportunity to allow the world to cool when we're cutting down trees and building so much on top of it.
Not to mention pollution too.
Yes, it's and pollution mostly because all these all these structures, all these buildings shouldn't be there. And if I'm a fan that if you cut down 3 trees, then plant 6. I mean, because we need trees. I mean, we learned that in science class in 4th grade. Trees give us oxygen. So why are you cutting down what allows us to stay alive? That's my mentality.
Denise, how would you describe yourself as a bilingual meteorologist?
So I will describe myself as very versatile. Now with 18, well, actually, I was doing the math once you contacted me, and I was like, wow, I'm coming up on 20 years of graduation. So I've been a meteorologist almost 20 years. That's pretty amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. So it's just, I don't know. I just feel like versatile. I think it's pretty cool that one station can call me one day and ask me to do weather in English with an accent. That's what you're going to get. Or weather in Spanish. And, as a freelance meteorologist now, I work with wherever they call me. So I've had stations in Minneapolis call me to work for them, stations in New York, California, Dallas, Texas, Florida. So, it's kind of cool to be able to adapt and know the weather across the nation and be able to sound local when I'm really not there.
Hopefully one day somebody from Canada will call you.
I know. I tried. There was a station up there in Toronto, actually, they were looking for a meteorologist, and I was hoping that they would accept a remote meteorologist, but I don't think that went through. But you never know, the world goes round and round.
Fingers crossed too.
Yes, fingers crossed. Because I do love Ontario. I mean, when I lived in Detroit, we used to drive over to, there's some vineyards in Windsor called, well, I don't know. The English, I guess, is mushedere, but they used to say mushedra, which I guess is Italian maybe. But they had some vineyards there where they made some really good pizza and they made their own wine. It was delicious. And then we drove to Kingsley, and I ended up in Montreal once. I mean, I really love
Montreal.
The Ontario area. Montreal.
When you went to Montreal, did you have smoked meat or poutine?
Oh yes, I had poutine. Yes, I did.
It's not the healthiest food, but it tastes good.
It is good. That gravy and the cheese curds. Oh yes.
Fun fact about me, I've been to more of the States than my own country. So my next goal as a Canadian is to start traveling to Quebec and Western Canada as well. There's a lot of great things here as well. And hopefully one day in the future, I'll be able to go to Louisville, Kentucky. Gotta ask you this. What was it like being with WXYZ Channel 7 in Detroit, which I get here? And I have cousins that live in Michigan too, by the way, in Taylor and Allen Park.
Well, I really love the people of Detroit. I mean, the people of Detroit were just so welcoming. I mean, at first they were like, wait, how is there a Black person on my TV screen who on their social media also speaks Spanish? I mean, at first they were just like, what? It's almost like they were like a deer in headlights. But then after that, I mean, they were so embracing. They're like, oh my God, we can't believe, there's a Panamanian here. And it was really nice. The people they drew were really nice. The station XYZ, they were going through changes, very complex at the time. A lot of people coming in, a lot of people leaving. My coworkers were fabulous, fantastic people I work with there. It was a fun 2 years. I'll say that. I mean, it was nice that they gave me the opportunity because that was the first station to give me full access to English weather. So I was very grateful to them to open up the doors and, allow me to expand my resume. But yeah, XYZ was good. A lot, there were some ups, there were some downs, but you always focus on the positive.
And that's what I did with my other career. At the end of my other career, I did it for 24 years. I wasn't happy, and it was time to move on. So both sides decided to part ways. And I got a taste of the broadcasting bug through doing camera work, volunteering. And that camera work led to me doing this podcast show, actually having my show on a radio station in Georgia for 2 years. And I just love what I'm doing. And I can tell how passionate you are as well about meteorology and what you're doing.
Yes, I mean, I love weather. I have, like I told you, it just started by sitting outside and feeling the energy from Mother Nature. And I've always thought to myself, like, what else could I have done if I wasn't a meteorologist? And it's tough to kind of answer that question because I love weather so much. But then I also realized that I love sports. So I was like, oh, I could have been a sports reporter or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, a trainer, or a coach. I have no idea.
What makes watching thunderstorms and hurricanes so fascinating? And what were some of your most memorable weather events you covered in your 15-year career?
Okay, so I mean, have you ever? I mean, I don't know if you have, but if anyone that's listening or watching, just being outside when like lightning strikes, like that, seeing the light rum and the noise and how the earth shakes, you realize how powerful Mother Nature is. I mean, and that Mother Nature does whatever it wants to do. And hurricanes are just the way they come together. I mean, all the ingredients need to be there, and how hurricanes can kind of just move the eye of the hurricane, how it can just intensify so quickly, or or fizzle out. There's just what I love about weather is the uncertainty of it. Like, yes, we're meteorologists and we tell you what's gonna happen, but honestly, the only person that surely know what's gonna happen is Mother Nature. It's just fascinating to think, but you really don't, because it always comes with a surprise. I mean, even yesterday, I mean, there was a line of storms, I guess the same storms that moved through Toronto yesterday, coming right towards us. But as soon as it was about to drop at my house, it just vanished. And we really need rain. So my husband was so upset. He was like, what? How does this happen? It's raining to our north and to our south, and it's not raining here. And I was like, yep, it happens. So it's fun. I love it.
And your 15 plus
year
career.
And what I covered. So this I didn't cover in my 15-year career, but I was living in Orlando at the time Charlie made impact. So Hurricane Charlie, that was back in 2003. And it was just, no, this was 2004. Like, anyways, my brain is no longer functioning correctly. But
Same
it was
here.
just, but it was fascinating. Just to feel the wind, how it's like so humid but strong. Feel the wind switch directions once the eye went through. How quiet it was when we were right in the middle of the eye. I mean, that to me was something I will never forget. And that moment actually confirmed my passion for meteorology. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I am on the right path. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to become. As a meteorologist on TV covering storms. So I lived in Florida for 6 years while working for Telemundo Miami, and not one hurricane made impact in Florida at the time, which is kind of crazy. I know. There was one storm that came really close to us, and we did like coverage 24/7. And it was Isaac, which is funny because it's my last name. So I was like, oh, okay, this is ironic and meant to be kind of thing. But other than that, like I had to cover some winter storms, which aren't my favorite. I don't really like winter weather at all.
I love winter, except I don't like ice. Snow's fine, cold's fine. I just don't like driving on freezing rain.
Yeah, freezing rain is not fun. And we get a lot of that here in Louisville. But the big snow drifts and driving next to plow truck, that just makes me so nervous. So, it's not something I love to forecast. It was like my least favorite thing to forecast, like big snowstorms. I'm a more of a thunderstorms, hurricanes kind of lover.
Have you dealt with earthquakes before?
Earthquakes? No, I've never had to deal with one. Yeah.
I'll take our climate over California with their earthquakes and mudslides.
Yeah, and forest fires. Fire season is starting soon, so yeah.
Soon, and there seems to be more and more of them than ever before, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just cutting down trees. I mean, they're not planting new ones, so it's just very dry.
What are some stereotypes of meteorologists to these days? Because you always hear, the weather people are wrong all the time, but you still get all those stereotypes about being a meteorologist.
Yes, you do. I mean, you get all what's the job where you can be wrong 90% of the time and still have a job, and it's just like, that's not true. I mean, we're not wrong 90% of the time. Another stereotype is the whole concept of weather girl. Especially if you go to college and have a 4-year degree, that one is kind of like upsetting in a way because I'm not a weather girl. I'm still a meteorologist. And in the Spanish industry, broadcasting, Spanish meteorologists tend to be sexy, right? Like you have to show, the more you show, the better it is. And I was never that way. And it's funny because when I worked in Miami, one of my bosses wanted me to show more cleavage. And I was like, why? No, like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a meteorologist. I'm giving facts and science. Like, why do I need to show more boobs? Like, that's unnecessary. And became kind of like, I mean, it was kind of like heated conversation because I was young. I was 22 at the time. But I just didn't feel like I had to show my body so people could watch. I feel like, I can show you how smart I am by speaking, and I can dress nicely without showing, and people will still come to me. And, 5 years down the road, the person realized that, yes, I was right. I didn't have to show anything to have people come. We ended up being like the #1 show, in South Florida for 5-6 years straight, just because people came to hear me speak knowledge. I taught them the science, because in the English world, you tend to have people explain things a lot. But in Spanish, because most weather presenters or meteorologists didn't really go to school, it's very superficial. But I knew the science, so I could explain to you why things were happening. So I feel viewers really came to appreciate that part. And I felt confident enough that I didn't have to show anything to have people come to our station.
By the way, I have another viewer watching on Facebook. She's going to be on my show very soon. Her name's Rashahana. Rashahana. I hope I have that right. She is a principal at a school in India. So thank you so much for watching for India. And she's going to come on and share her story on our show next week from India. And I believe they're like 12 and a half hours ahead of us. So that's another thing I've learned by doing this talk show and being in media. Learn all your guests' time zones as well.
Yes, I'm glad you and I are on the same time zone. But
Absolutely.
I can't believe, I mean, you expand all the way to India. That's amazing, Chris. Congrats.
Thank you so much. This technology really does shrink the world down, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And everyone is watching.
Well, I just very fortunate with getting great guests on such as yourself. And I think my career in security really prepared me for this, because when you're in security, you work for a racetrack casino, you deal with all walks of life, and you have to learn how to public speak, you have to listen, you have to learn to ad-lib and think on your feet, and also show empathy. I wanted to ask you this too. Do you find empathy nowadays is shrinking too?
Oh, yes, big time. I mean, everyone wants to say something to hurt you. I honestly feel like people just want to hurt others and it gives them pleasure. And I don't know why that's happening. I see it a lot more often than not. And even people my age, I mean, 40s, 50-year-olds trying to hurt others. And it's just like, why? I mean, we're all living in this complex world. It's so much nicer when we actually help each other and encourage each other and, support each other. And yeah, I've never been a fan of, backstabbing or being mean. I'm certainly not a mean girl.
Or belittling to others?
Oh yeah, no, never. I mean, I've always been this one. Yeah, I've always been the one to say I treat everyone with kindness and respect, even from a kid to an elder person, because we're all here in this world just trying to survive, and even a janitor deserves a good morning or a smile or a how are you doing, because we're all humans. I mean, and one day you're up here, you're at the top, but tomorrow you might lose your job and end up being at the bottom. So you just never know. You have to be kind to everyone.
I know we're getting short on time, Denise. I will wrap this up. What's up next? What's up on your bucket list next for Denise Isaac?
Well, for me, I would love to continue to do weather, but I also want to get into working more with like local companies, or not even local. I mean, I could go to India to become an MC. But I would love to see my MC list kind of grow a little bit more, Chris. Fingers crossed in September, I'm hoping to work with a soccer group, a soccer team, and be part of they're having like a Latin night. So I'm hoping that I can make that happen and work with them, because I realize that I love not only public speaking, but I also love interacting with people. So I love the social aspect of public speaking, and it'll be cool to incorporate something that I love, sports, with another thing that I love, public speaking, and kind of just keep that going.
Have you thought about your own podcast in the future, the Meteorologist podcast, and a book maybe?
I have, but I have two young kids. So I have
That's a full-time job.
Yeah, so I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. So they keep me really busy. And I feel like once I start with our podcast, I feel like it has to be continuous.
Yeah.
And like right now, I'm with you because they're at summer camp. But that's just this week. Next week they're home with me. So it's tough. But maybe one day, once they're a little bit older, I could I could work on a podcast or something like that. We'll see. We'll see what the future has in store for me. But I don't
Fingers
really,
crossed.
I don't really say, I leave it up to the universe to that whatever is meant to be will come my way, because, God's timing is always perfect. And whenever it's meant to happen, it will happen. Because even like this freelance meteorology, it's not something I ever thought would happen after I left TV full time, because, everyone was like out of sight, out of mind. Who works from home? But I've been doing it now for almost 5 years, believe it or not. And it's not, yeah,
Congratulations.
of course it doesn't happen every day, but sometimes I do it for 5 months and then it stops. But it just keeps me in the game of weather, and I'm very fortunate, very grateful that it has happened, and fingers crossed once again that it continues to flow as long as possible.
And I can tell how passionate you are and how many hats you wear, being an MC, a host, a professional speaker. You want to help people communicate and inspire others. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. And that's what I love about this show. I meet people from very diverse backgrounds, careers, and stories, and the guests kind of inspire to keep me going too.
Yeah, and that's how you have to be. I mean, the sky is the limit. People will tell you no often, but you have to believe in yourself. And just, if someone tells you no, just go knock on a different door and maybe they'll say yes. Like, if you have a dream, just work for it, work hard.
Mindset.
Mindset. Life isn't easy. But like, things, if it's meant to be, it will eventually come your way. That's how I look at it. I mean, and my whole career has been kind of like that. And just, I'm blessed, and opportunities have come when a lot of people said I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. So I just keep going, and I kind of cover my ears for haters. Like, haters are always going to hate.
Block the noise. Block the noise.
Yeah. Block the noise. Yes.
Denise, I know we're short on time. We'll wrap this up. Do you have a quick question for the host CDP? And where can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and the best way of contacting you?
Well, you can contact me via Instagram or X. I have Instagram will be Denise, Denise, Isaac, ISAACWX. That's my Instagram handle. And then X is Denise WX. I also have my website, DeniseIsaacWH.com. And I do reach out. So, if you mean well, if you have great questions, I do respond. I'm not a person that keeps the knowledge to myself. So please feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions, or any weather interest or sports interest. I can talk about sports all day, any day.
We'll definitely have you back on again in the future to talk more about sports, but also more about weather too.
Yes, of course, Chris. No, thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. So it's always good to reminisce, because sometimes you forget the path that that you've walked. So it's just, it's nice to realize, like, hey, Denise, like, you've had an interesting and good career. So
absolutely,
keep your head up, and keep rising and keep looking for the stars.
Do you, as we wrap this up in like 20 seconds, do you have a quick question for the host CDP?
Well, let's say, I don't know. I'm blanking, Chris. I don't, can't think about a question right now.
We can always save it for the next time. But hey, Denise, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Continued success with your company, being a freelance bilingual meteorologist, and good luck to your Panama soccer team. And make sure when you go to the game, you post some pictures, because I would like to see some of the pictures as well. And hopefully they can score a goal or two and even win a game.
Oh, that would be great, Chris. Let's hope so. No worries. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll be posting my journey to MetLife Stadium on June 27th.
I'm now following you on Instagram as well. Are you on TikTok by any chance, or no?
No TikTok. This mom of two can't just keep up with all social media.
It's a hey, believe me, full-time social media is a full-time job itself. The on-air stuff is the easy part. It's the behind the scenes. That's where the work is. I'm going to let you go, but Denise, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here again today. Continued success. Give me a little bit of time today, and I will send you the full video, the audio, and then I will edit the video into clips, because everyone's attention spans nowadays is shrinking, and it seems like the smaller the clip, the more views.
Yes, that is true. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out. It's been fun speaking with you on this Monday.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, Denise. All right, everyone, that wraps up season 14, episode 6, overall 721 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. As we wrap this show up, guys, I'm going to play a little clip from Denise Isaac's website. It's DeniseIsaacWH.com. Her website is Denise Isaac, ISAACWH.com. DeniseIsaacWH.com. We're going to play a little bit of a video clip from Denise doing some public speaking.
Wasn't good enough to be a meteorologist in the English language market. So I should just solely focus on getting a job at Telemundo and Univision because I had the charisma, I had the beauty. So I shouldn't waste my energy on applying to NBC, ABC, CBS, or any of the English stations because I wasn't good enough for that because of my accent. So for several years, I let his words control and take control of my path. There were also other people who thought like him. So I was hired in Minnesota and less than a year after, laid off because of my accent. Even though technically they couldn't say it was my accent because that would be ground for a lawsuit. But when an employer sends you to an accent reduction class and a few months later decides to let you go, your brain connects all the dots and you think back to the words said by your college professor, you aren't good enough. After that incident, I was a bit traumatized because I had to move away from my family in Florida, from Panama, all the way to Minnesota. And just like that, I had to pack my bags and find a place to live. My parents live in Panama. So going back home wasn't an option. I actually had to pack my bags. I had a boyfriend at the time. His parents said, you can come and move with us. So, I had to do it. Application after application, I got a call from Telemundo in Miami and eventually started to work there as their morning meteorologist. But after 5-6 years of mainly doing Spanish weather segments, every now and then I will actually do English at the NBC station there, WTVJ. I told myself it was time to spread my wings once again, not let fear stand in my way. And it was time to pull a Sofia Vergara. It was crossover time. So that I did. Place my fear aside, stop listening to my inner doubt angel, and find my way to the local ABC affiliate station in Detroit, Michigan. Yes, I made it. My first thought on May 20th, 2016. It was my first day on air in English in a top 15 market. I came in with an accent, but one that I embraced and wasn't ashamed of anymore. Viewers couldn't understand at first. Is she black? Is that a Miami accent? Wait, why is she speaking Spanish on her YouTube videos? So it was my opportunity to teach a society about us, to open doors and enlighten them about my Afro-Latina roots. After 4 months, they got it, and it felt great to be embraced and accepted. I didn't have to change a thing about me. They were able to see that I am uniquely different and that Black comes in several shades, languages, and rhythms. It was quite an accomplishment, but there was one person who couldn't see beyond the color of my skin and my Latinidad, my boss. So a week before my due date, yes, you heard that right, I was 39 weeks pregnant. She decided to let me go and not renew my contract. Another blow to my confidence, but one that didn't last long. While on maternity leave, I was offered a job here in Boston to be their only bilingual meteorologist and cover weather for NBC, NECN, and Telemundo Nueva Inglaterra. My dream comes true. I had been looking for the opportunity to be able to showcase my expertise in the weather field and not be confined to one language or the other for more than 10 years. It was great to be used to, or it is great to be used to my max capability and prove to myself that I can accomplish anything I set myself to. My goals, here they are, by hard work and not giving up. So for those who said I couldn't succeed in the English market and I will never be good enough, aquí estoy. No seré perfecta, pero llegué a mi cima. Don't ever give up. You will shed a tear, several tears, jump obstacles while bruised, but at the end, you are the co-pilot to your destiny. And if you envision triumph, you will flourish. We're all stars with our own light. So no matter where in the world we may be, make sure to always shine bright. My name is Denise Isaac, and this is how I amplify.
That clip was courtesy of Denise Isaac's website. Go to DeniseIsaacWH.com. DeniseIsaacWH.com. And again, I want to say thank you so much to Denise Isaac, a freelance bilingual meteorologist, an MC, a host, a social media influencer at Louisville, Kentucky, for coming on here today. So thank you to Denise Isaac for coming on here and talking a little bit about the World Cup of Soccer. She's a big Panama fan, and also a little bit about meteorology and weather and stuff like that as well. And hopefully I will have Denise back on again in the future. I do have another announcement to make before we wrap up this show, guys, and I'm looking forward to it. My next live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by BarryCullin.com. It's going to take place on Wednesday, June 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern with special guest Shelly Shamels. She's a Buffalo-based creative producer, filmmaker, founder of Von Shamels Productions, a company focused on producing culture and building community through film, live events, and creative storytelling. And she's also the podcast host of Queen City Stories. She hosts on Instagram as well. I met Shelly Shamels at the Niagara Falls Comic Con a week and a half ago. So I'm looking forward to Shelly Shamels coming on Wednesday, June 17th at 2 o'clock to talk a little bit about her podcast show, Queen City Stories, and also about being a Buffalo-based creative producer, film producer, and founder of her own media company called Von Shamels Productions as well. So Wednesday, June 17th at 2 o'clock. And I have more shows coming up this week. I will make announcements on my social media pages very soon as well. And I'm also hoping to get to a Toronto Argonauts practice this week and try to get a couple more Argonaut players and coaches to speak with me as well. The Argonauts are coming off 37-30 loss to the Montreal Alouettes. The Argos are back on the road this Saturday when they take on the Ottawa Red Blacks. Yours truly, CDP. I have a busy weekend. I have 4 talk shows, 3 more shows coming up this week here on Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show. Friday, I will be in Hamilton for the Tiger Cats BC Lions game at Hamilton Stadium as freelance media. And then Saturday, June 20th, I will be at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame's class of 2026, headlined by Devon White and Hazel May, as well as one of my guests, Kate Soda, who was on my show a couple weeks ago. Kate Soda is going to be in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame as well. So please make sure you tune into Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. I have 3 more shows this week with 3 more great guests, and also my media content from the Tiger Cats BC Lion game this Friday and the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, again, I want to say thank you to everyone for watching, and Denise Isaac, 2-time National Emmy Award-winning meteorologist, for coming on here today. And as we wrap the show up, Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now has Health for Check for Change. Help support your local children's hospital with an EV health check for a change package. For every package purchase, $10 will be directly donated to your children's hospital. More details at barrycullen.com or drop by their location at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. You can call them at 519-824-0210 or email them at info@barrycullen.com. And again, Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership is a proud sponsor and advertiser of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you'd like a personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, go to cameo.com, type in Chris Palme. I do happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy Hanukkah, congratulations, whatever within reason. So if you'd like a personalized video message from CDP, again, go to cameo.com, type in Chris Palme, and book your cameo today. You can follow me on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19 at Blue Sky Social. I'm on there quite often, so check me out on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19. If you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets and animals that are up for adoption, their profiles and pictures and information on cambridgehumanesociety.org. Michelle and her staff do a wonderful job in getting our furry friends adopted into good homes with good families as well. So at the Cambridge District Humane Society, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it. So if you're looking for a pet, check out the Cambridge Humane Society, cambridgehumanesociety.org. Or give them a call again at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for Kat or Michelle, and they can assist you with your needs. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, now available on Instagram, and hopefully soon to be TikTok. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. I am also a full-time content creator. You can follow me on TikTok at Chris Palme on TikTok. Follow, like, and share. I have a lot of content there. And please check out my media interview with Grace and Rick from the Pet Value Pet Appreciation event this Saturday. I was at Pet Value on Paisley Road, and I did a media interview with Rick from Pet Value and with Grace from the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. If you guys want to help out, go to their website, Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. They're located in Puthlinch. They could use help with volunteers as well as donations. And right now at the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada in Puthlinch, they're also looking for soccer socks. They use them to put the socks up the donkey's legs. So if you're able to donate soccer socks, please contact Grace at the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada, which is out in Puthlinch as well. Please check out their website and please support them as well as please support the Pet Value Store at 1005 Paisley Road in Guelph as well. Patty is the owner and Rick is one of their employees there as well. And I had a good time at their pet appreciation event there this weekend. That interview is on my YouTube channel. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, live streaming, or podcasting, go to StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans, paid professional plans like I do. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars, go to StreamYard.com and contact our sales department for pricing as well. And yours truly has been with StreamYard going on 6 years now, and I give them a big thumbs up. The audio version of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. Please subscribe, like, and listen. And I do have 82 countries around the world listening to this show, and I have just reached well over 12,000 listeners on Spotify. So thank you to everyone for listening to the audio version of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. Finally, guys, you can email the show at live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpame19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to support my YouTube channel and my 3 talk shows, you really like my media content, I am on PayPal. Go to paypal.com at Chris Pame if you'd like to support my media work through PayPal, or book a personalized video message through cameo.com/Chris Pame. Finally, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, Threads, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, everywhere except Snapchat. And also, guys, remember to check out my YouTube channel. Go to Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm all at 865 subscribers. I'm now 135 subscribers from 1,000. So I just need 135 more subscribers to get to 1,000. And I have over 761,000 views, 750,000 views. So my next goal is with my YouTube channel, 1,000 subscribers and 1 million views. So please go to Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show, subscribe, like, and share. And remember to check out my YouTube shorts. I have a lot of YouTube shorts content there as well. And that is about it for today's show, guys. I want to say thank you to Emma Miller and Rashanana for watching our show. I want to say thank you to everyone watching this show or listening to the show as well. And I also want to say congratulations to the New York Knicks, who won their first NBA championship since 1973. I was only 1 year old back then, so I don't remember it. So congratulations to the New York Knicks on their 3rd ever NBA championship, first one since 1973, beating the Spurs in 5 games. They just proved everybody wrong, and Mike Brown gets his first championship ring as head coach. So congratulations to the New York Knicks on being NBA champions, and to the Carolina Hurricanes for winning their 2nd ever Stanley Cup and their first one since 2006, beating Vegas last night 3-0. So congratulations to Rod Brindamore and the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina and the Knicks had a great playoff run, and the Knicks and the Hurricanes, congratulations on your championship seasons. And that is about it, guys, for today's show. I want to say thank you again to my guest, Denise Isaac, a bilingual freelance meteorologist, for coming on here today. Hopefully we'll have Denise on again as well. And good luck to her Panama team in this year's World Cup of Soccer as well. And again, my next show, Wednesday, June 17th, 2 p.m. with special guest Shelly Shamels, Buffalo-based creative producer, film producer, and founder of her own media company called Von Shamels Production, and the host of Queen City Story podcast here on Instagram. I hope everybody has a great afternoon, and we'll see you back here Wednesday at 2 o'clock for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame, and brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. Have a great afternoon, everybody. And again, thanks for watching and listening.